touch sensitivity. So it's not uncommon. Hello, Wee Breezy. I'm here with Wee Breezy today. It's not uncommon for dogs to be sensitive to being touched in either certain areas of the body or, being touched overall. Now, sometimes this happens because the dog's had a really bad negative experience. And unless, I as a trainer don't know the dog's full history, I can't assume that, because some dogs just naturally, particularly don't like people going over the top of them, particularly over the top of their neck. Dog to dog, that's a very confrontational and aggressive gesture, so dogs are naturally wary of that on the whole, right? So how do you deal with touch sensitivity? So I'm going to show you my basic technique today, and then I'll talk you through what you do if that's still not working. But for most dogs, for 80% of dogs, this will work if they're touch sensitive. So I want to get Breeze, lie down Breeze, in a relaxed position. I'll try and get her more in camera. Breeze down. Good girl, that's a rewarder for the down. So I'm going to use Breezy's round about this part of her body there, because I know she's not particularly sensitive to that. Now, if I just go and touch, see how she turned her head quickly there? That's because she didn't expect it coming. So what a lot of people do is they'll touch, see how she jerked up there, and then give a treat. Now that's not really helping her. In fact, what that can do is that can create a negative association with the treats. Breeze, was recently diagnosed with hip dysplasia and spondylitis down the bottom of her body. So she's going to be, she might be worried about being hurt in that part of her body. So that could really create a negative association, and it could actually put her off chicken, So we don't want to do that. So what we want to do is tell Breeze that the touch is coming. So you can use a warning word, just simply say touch, or you can make a warning sound, bop, bop, something like that. So what I'm going to do this time, Breeze down, is I'm going to give her a warning, and then I'm going to touch, and then I'm going to treat. Breeze, lie down. Touch, and then treat. So she was less sensitive there. She went for the chicken and said, touch, touch, a wee flick of the head there. So for dogs like that, okay, she was kind of still a bit sensitive. I want to back off a bit there. And I know she's sensitive there because she's worried about being hurt, because she's got pain in that part of her body. But for those that are watching, we are working with a vet and she has some pain relief, and we're working through these issues, So what I'm going to do is do it from a greater distance. I want her to see it coming. So I've got my chicken in the hand there to make sure her head's turned that way, and then that's the part of her body there. So touch. There we go, that's it. I was gentler that time. Come here, Breeze. I'm going to back off even more, because Breeze has kind of moved away that time, which is a very subtle sign to say she didn't like it. Touch, and I stopped there. So I didn't even touch her that time. Okay, now she gets the chicken. Touch, and then chicken. Touch, and then chicken. And then gradually touch, and then chicken. And for that part of her body, I'm not going to move much closer today. Touch. So you see I'm not actually physically touching there. I'm going to build up to that. And over time, I'll build up to touch, and I'll press harder and harder. I won't hurt her, but also the vet needs to examine her and press down. So it'll be this bit, the top part of her spine's got no pain, so she's going to be much happier with that. Touch, touch the top of her spine there. So always start off with bits of the body. Touch, you see how she doesn't flick her head there. Touch, that's it. Touch. So I'm using bits of her body that she's happy to be touched in. The bits of the body that you have to work up to are any areas where there's pain, because your vet will have to examine your dog, so you do have to work on this touch. And areas that are typically quite sensitive are touch, ears, mouth, eyes, nose. Obviously don't touch her directly in the eye, your dog directly in the eye. Their bottom and their paws. So you have to kind of work at this over time. This is essential for puppy training. So the basic technique would be warning, word or sound, touch, then touch. Now you see that time she kind of flipped a bit more. That's telling me she's had enough today of that, okay? And I know it's because she's got problems with her hip and her spine. And what Breeze has kind of done is she flinched a bit more, and that tells me now I've not hurt Breeze there, but I'm in danger if I push this further of making, hello baby girl, of making that aversive. So always finish your training sessions on a high. Get your dog to do something simple that you're really confident in. Breeze, come on in, down. Good. She likes doing down because she's a collie, so I'm going to finish off on the down training. And that way I finish on a high and I build her confidence, because I did in that video, just push it slightly. There were subtle signs, there was little flicks of the head, little tiny movements away. She wasn't particularly unhappy. So when you see that in your dog and you're doing your touch training, back off. you know, back off physically. You don't have to always actually touch. You're building up to the physical touch, and then you're always rewarding after you've touched, not before, and that's absolutely vital, right? Okay, so otherwise your dog only let you touch them when you've got food in your hand. So it's touch, the warning word, then the action, whether it's away from the dog's body or on the dog's body or pressing slightly harder to get ready for a vet exam. And then it follows afterwards with food, and that's absolutely vital, important. This is so vital for puppy training for the puppy owners that are watching, because you know, you'll touch the puppy's paws and they'll be like this and they'll be wriggly woggly, and you want to build the puppy up so that you can take your puppy to the vet, so you can brush your puppy's teeth in later life. Are you still on the chicken, madam? Yes, you are. So you want to get your dog cool with that. We're thinking that we want a conditioned positive association between being touched and something good always happening as a result, so that when your puppy is older and later in life, if it develops any medical issues, any health issues, any pain issues, then you go to the vet, and the vet's having to prod and push and do a lot of stuff over a repeated period of time. You don't end up with a dog that just can't stand going to the vet because it's so stressed, because every time it goes to the vet, some pain is inflicted because the vet has to do their job and examine your dog properly. So touch training is vital. It also prevents things like happening if there's kids running about the house. Kids can move swiftly so that the arms go across the dog and they're running about, and the dog's like, whoa, snap. That helps to prevent that as well, okay? Particularly young children, toddlers, if you've got a toddler and a dog, they go through this grabby stage, and anybody that's had a kind of baby toddler has had that experience of getting your hair pulled, and it's really quite sore. So while we want to obviously manage that situation, prevent it, we want to do the best with our dog to get them ready for the situations that life will throw at them, and they just think, oh, it's okay, I get chicken for this anyway. So you have to work at this, and like all training, you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent. So yeah, really good to do. Send me your videos, let me know how you're getting on, that would be fantastic. But yeah, have fun training your dog.